Howdy everybody, Steve here, KM9G. I love playing with old technology. I've been working on some older amps today, and this is number 2, and it is the VHF Engineering, and I believe it's called the BLC 2/70. So 2 watts in, 2 meters, 70 watts out. And they make a 1070 model as well, and I don't know why you'd get the 1070 model, because that one is higher wattage in for lower wattage out, and this one is lower wattage in for higher wattage out. But it's a freebie, because my friend Rod, N6NII, name 6 nerds in Iowa, let me borrow this to play with, and I've been holding on to it for a while, and it's about time I actually got to playing with it. Let's get over to the bench, open it up, see what's going on. It is nice to have a workbench back. I have actually been carrying this amplifier with me for quite a while, almost a year now in my RV, and never had a chance to get to it. This is the BLC 270 or the BLC 1070. We have to figure out which one it is. It's made by VHF Engineering, and the price is $2. I'm imagining it's the price for the manual that's $2. I can't imagine this entire amplifier was $2. Depending on which one you get, it'll run for 2 meters. So the 270 is 2 meters and 70 watts out? Yeah, 70 watts out, Class AB amplifier, 3 watts in, 70 watts out is what it looks like. So I gotta find a radio that'll go down that far. Theory of operation. Installation, lifetimes of properly cooled transistors can reach 100,000 hours. Nice. It'll do AM and FM. It'll do CW and SSB. So there is the theory of operation. Looks like it is 1 page, but split across 2. Pause that if you want to read it. Uh-oh, somebody made a modification. But there is your schematic. Parts list, and all done. All right. And like I said, I can't imagine that this was $2. So we got the same kind of thing going on as we did in the last amplifier video. Somebody added a power cable to this thing, and I'm gonna unadd that power cable. Unless you did these modifications yourself, it's probably better to not trust them. This looks like an old lamp cord or something. I mean, at least they weren't cheap on the tape. I have to wash my hands after this. These things are sticky. Oh, that's a heck of a splice. It's like they just laid the 2 wires next to each other and boogered up some solder on them. All right, we're gonna get rid of both of them. That solves that problem. Oh, yuck, yuck, yuck. And then I am gonna put these into some power pole adapters. It's sticky. This is something that I picked up at Hamvention, and these are all the rage on the YouTubes lately of getting these guys and making them or buying them or finding them or whatever. And these are Wago style connectors, and you just shove the wire in. I'm going to assume red to red. And is it bottoming out? There it is. And once you snap that down, it snaps in nice and tight, and it ain't going nowhere. And same with that one. So they are nice and tight and put in place. Excellent. Not a whole lot of controls on the backside, not a whole lot of connections. We have antenna, power, and transceiver. It says warranty void if seal is broken, and it has already been broken. Heatsink on the top. This is the BLC 270, so 2 watts in, 3 watts, it's 2 meters, 3 watts in, 70 watts out. And it's serial number 1265. I'm not sure what that is, but there it is. I mean, I guess it's a way that the transistor is screwed on, and a fancy looking screw. And then on the front, we have an on-off switch and an FM or SSB switch. Oh boy, that looks a little crispy. Not terrible, just different. There we go. Wow. We got a couple of different Motorola pills in here. We've got this one here, the MRF245, and then a 2N6081 it looks like. She's a beaut. Positive power line runs around one side, negative runs around the other. Pretty slick. And this one here they built into the case upside down so that the heatsink would be on top, because that's smart, heat rises. All right, I'm gonna screw the front and back panel back on with just 2 screws so that it doesn't short anything out while I'm testing, but I'm gonna leave the lid or the bottom off. There's a little sticker in here that says assembled by, and it says number 3, it looks like number 3 wire and parts, test. It just has a blue sticker put on, QC and date, so we don't have any idea. Closest thing we might have is the date on the transistor here, which is the 17th week of 87, and the other one is the 26th week, it's upside down, and there's some wires in the way, 26th week of 87, so that dates this to around 1987. And we're gonna do the same test that we did last time first. We're gonna have no radio plugged in, we're gonna have power plugged in to our Astron power supply, so we give it plenty of DC juice, and then because this is upside down, I guess it really doesn't matter, but the transmitter goes on this side, the antenna goes on that side, which connects into my power meter. And on the back side of this power meter, you have an HF side and a VHF UHF side. And then that connects into... What I want to make sure of first is that when I turn the power on, it doesn't go crazy and start a fire, and it doesn't start transmitting automatically with no radio connected. So first test first, fingers crossed. Let's set this to off. And these switches are kind of soft. They don't make a click sound unless I hit them hard enough. Set that to FM and then turn the power on. And nothing yet, but there shouldn't be because the power is off. And here we go. No light on the power. I wonder. Could be a bad fuse. Let's check the fuse. And she moves. There we go. It's a squeeze turn. It's an interesting looking fuse. All right, multimeter. Set this thing up for continuity mode. Does it beep? It beeps. 1, 2. All right, fuse is good. So the fuse checks out okay, and I checked the power rails inside of the amplifier and they are showing power, so maybe it's just a bad light. I'm gonna keep on keeping on. All right, I am going to use the Radioddity GA5WB for this test, and I have power set to low. And it's gonna be a little awkward because I have to hold the radio sideways. But first we'll turn this off and we'll have it in bypass. I hope it has a bypass. And if I key down, we get nothing on the meter. So there might not be a bypass. Yep, nothing at all. I'm gonna plug the radio directly into the meter and see if we can get that to work. Yep, we're getting power out, 1.40. Okay. Receiver antenna, that's wired up right. We're getting power in, no bypass. No power, let's change power modes. Medium, nope. High, nothing. Ah, there it is. Okay. I am a genius. I was transmitting on 446 into the dummy load, and it's a 2-meter only amp, so it didn't work. Duh. I switched it over to 146.52, and she works. Let's take a look. All right, we'll take a look at the power meter over here, and the radio is set to, that might work. The radio is set to high power, which is not what it's supposed to do. So let's go into radio settings, and let's change that to low. And if we PTT on low, what do we get? 62 watts out. Nice. And we PTT on medium. 62 watts out. 58 watts out. Yeah. And we get a little bit of forward and reflected power. That's interesting. And then high, once again, just for reference, 78 to 80. Let's switch it back down to low, and I think that'll work just fine. Excellent, let's get an antenna on it, see what we can do. Okay, so as I film this, I am in St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin, and I am trying to reach a repeater, and I think the nearest node for this repeater is in White Bear Lake. So it's a little bit of a distance away. I am using the Edfong roll-up J-pole, and it's plugged into a metal vent. It's actually just kind of hanging there, which might be causing a problem. Or it might actually be giving me a little bit of extra radiator, which might be causing a problem. Let's try it out. All right, so on the screen you can see the H for high power, 146.85 is the repeater and there are no tones. So if I key up, 146.25 is the input and I get no response back. All right, now we are cabled back into the amplifier. We're not using the power meter and we're still going into that same roll-up J-pole. Let's try menu. We're still on high power, which is probably too much for the amp. Let's try low power on the amp. All right, so L for low power, if y'all can see that, I don't know. I heard the amp click on. Nothing. M for medium power. And then nothing on high power. So we are too far down in the valley. We got to get outdoors for this. All right, we are outside and we're using the DX Commander 10-meter mast. And we've got the antenna up in the air a little bit. Outdoors is probably the biggest deal. And that repeater is somewhere over there. Let's get back inside and try it. All right, first thing I want to do is switch this down to low power since we're outside again. Radio settings, low power. Now let's key up. Oh, we got her back. That's the repeater tail you heard. Kilo Mike 9 Golf testing. Kilo Mike 9 Golf testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if it works on low, it'll work on medium or high. Excellent. All right, we've got this thing plugged back into the power meter to get that repeater. Let's see what it says. $50 watts. Gets it done. Not bad at all. These things here are an amazing invention. If you don't have these, make yourself some. There's a couple of videos out on the internet about how to make them, but they work great. And for $8, they're actually not too bad to buy either. I bought 2 sets at Dayton Hamvention this year, and they come in handy because now I can take them back off and give this back to Rod. I don't lose my power pole ends. This one was a little fun to work with. I was a little worried. I don't want to go in and replace the switches because I just don't want to do it. It's not a restoration video, it's a does it work video, and if it was broken I might have gone and done some fixing, but it wasn't broken, so I didn't have to. Worked out really well once I got the antennas outdoors. Well, it's a 2N70, so maybe I can still call the singular the doubler, I don't know. We'll have to argue about that in the comments down below. That's about all I have to say about that. It is always fun to play with old stuff. If you like watching a guy play with some old radio equipment and try and figure out how it works, this is a channel for you. Be sure you are subscribed. There's a video right over here I think you might enjoy next. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.